Hey, Allison Verhalen here with AV Writing Services, and today I am talking about the difference between paid search versus organic search. Which one is best for your business? Which one will get you the highest return on your investment, your biggest ROI? So let's start with organic search. Organic search is when your content just naturally shows up in Google. Google's algorithm does its thing, it reads your content, people read your content, they like it, Google notices that, all those things add up, and eventually you start ranking. Let's say you're on the first page of Google, because let's face it, if you're not on the first page of Google, you might as well not exist. According to HubSpot, about 75% of users never click past the first page of Google. So if you're not on that first page, no one's gonna find you. I know it's sad and harsh, but it's true. So it's all about how do you get to that first page. So ideally you get there organically. Your content just naturally shows up. Google says this content is great content for these questions. It answers everyone's questions. They love this content. People are gonna click to your website when they see it, and hopefully your content will then lead them down the buyer funnel so that they never go back to Google, they stick with you. So the benefits? The benefits of doing that obviously are you've got greater authority and credibility. So on the first page of Google, generally you have like 3 ads, right? And then organic content. And then at the very bottom, you might have 2 or 3 ads, again, before the very bottom of the page, depending on the keyword. So your biggest benefit, I think, to showing up organically is that a lot of people will just skip those ads. They'll go straight to the organic content. And even if they don't, let's say they see your ad up there, and then they see your organic content below the ad space, they see that you also showed up organically, they're gonna be much more likely to click on that organic link than on the ad, because they wanna know that you got there, that you earned it, so to speak, that you've passed Google's test, you have authority, you have credibility. They're going to be much more likely to click and, again, hopefully take the next stage in the buyer journey once they do get to your website. So that's the first pro to getting to rank organically. The next is longevity. Once you get there, just being there also improves your SEO. People, like I said, people are going to be more likely to find you. They're going to be more likely to click on your website. They're going to be more likely to take the next step in the buyer journey, and Google is going to read all of that, and Google is going to say people like this content. People are going there. They're not coming back. That's a good thing. That's what we want. That means they found what they wanted. So they're going to keep ranking your content for those keywords on the first page of Google. And then the third one kind of builds off of that, is that the benefits compound. If you keep creating great content and people keep clicking to your website and finding that great content and loving it and doing everything you need that content to do and doing everything that Google needs that content to do, then you're going to have much better results, and your chances are you're going to stay on that first page of Google. It's going to be much harder for a competitor to get in there and knock you off. So those are the pros. There are drawbacks to ranking organically, the biggest one being it takes longer. It requires a greater investment of your time, your energy, your resources. People will say one of the benefits to ranking organically is that it's free. It is not free. We do not agree with that statement at all. First, we recommend that you hire someone like us, a professional. If you're not a professional yourself, you should absolutely hire someone who really knows what they're doing, who knows the SEO, who knows how to get your content to rank up there. And then again, lead people down those stages of the buyer funnel so that they end up taking the next stages and actually buying from you, which is the ultimate goal of everything you do online, on your website, your content marketing, your marketing, all of that stuff is to get those people to buy from you, right? So you should really get people who know how to get that goal, to get that result from your content. Even if you don't hire someone, if you do it yourself, it's gonna take a lot of time, and your time is not free. Your time is not free. If you're a small business owner, everything you do should have a return on the investment. You're probably, like me, always working on your business. That's great. Are you getting the results that you need? And if you don't hire someone, you're less likely to get those results. And even if you do get results by doing it yourself, that's still an investment. That time that you put into creating all that great content and pushing it out on social media and on your newsletter and all the things that you need to be doing, that is a huge investment of your time and money and resources, even if you're doing it yourself. So that's a big drawback to ranking organically, and it's going to take months, if not years, before Google actually manages to index your website and finally get you to that coveted first spot for those targeted keywords on the first page of Google. So be aware, it's awesome if you can get to the first page of Google for your targeted keywords, but it's going to take a while. The other drawback is the buyer intent. Most people who do click on that, the organic content, the stuff that shows up organically, most of them are not looking to buy right now. They are in that top stage of the buyer funnel, which means they're just looking, they're trying to get some info, maybe they're looking for some DIY tips, that kind of, they're not really looking to buy right now. So that could be a drawback for you. So just be aware. Now, again, once they get to your website, it's all about leading them down that funnel. So you can nurture and you should absolutely nurture those leads. So once they're on your site, encourage them to sign up for your newsletter, to follow you on social media, whatever it is you need them to do next so you can continue reeling in those juicy leads. That's what you need to be doing. But it's also a lot harder if they find you via organic content versus paid content. So next up, that's it for organic content. Next up is paid search. So most paid search, we're talking about Google ads here. There's a lot more when it comes to paid search. You can pay for ads on Facebook, which is really popular, although I think it's gotten less popular as it's gotten less effective lately. You can pay for ads on any social media platform. So it's all about what makes sense for you. Does it make sense to show up in Google, or does it make sense to show up on a particular social media platform? So right now, for the purposes of this video, we are just talking about Google Ads. So when it comes to paid search on Google Ads, we're talking about pay per click. When you see PPC online, that stands for pay per click. That means you only pay every time someone clicks on the link of your ad. So let's say you've got an ad up here and then you show up organically down here and they click on your organic content. You're not going to pay for that click for that ad because they did not click on the ad, they clicked on your organic content. So every time someone clicks on your ad, that's when you're paying for it. And the amount you'll pay will depend on the keyword. It will depend on your competitors. It's usually a bidding kind of a process, where people say that they'll pay such and such to be on the very top spot of Google for that particular keyword, and someone else might come and say, well, we'll pay this much to be on that top spot. So it really is a bidding war. So it depends on how much you want to spend and what your budget is like for your Google ads. So the biggest pros, we'll start with pros for paid search, is that greater visibility. Again, you're right here. You're right at the top sometimes. Remember I said that there are also ads sometimes at the bottom of Google. So in some cases, people might have to scroll through all those ads and all that organic content to get to your ad at the bottom. Again, it depends on the keyword. It depends on how much you're willing to pay for that ad space. If your budget only allows you to be down here, then you're not going to get up here. That's just the way it is. So whether or not you get a return on that investment, that's something you're going to have to see for yourself. See if people don't click down here, you're not paying for it. You're only paying if they actually click on it. So paying for that ad space can still be valuable. If they do get down there and they do go, oh yes, that right there, that's what I need, then they're going to click on your site. And again, it's all about getting that content to reel in those juicy leads. So that's your biggest pro. Oh, and faster results is the second pro to paid search. Is, like I said, with organic content, it can take you forever to finally reach that coveted first page of Google. But with paid search, you pay for it, you're right at the top spot right away. It's awesome. So those are the first two pros. You can also do A/B testing with paid search, which is awesome. You can do this with your organic content too, but it takes a lot longer to get the same results. and tweak accordingly. So you can, when you're paying, you can run 2 different campaigns. You can try different headlines. You can try different pieces of content. You can try different calls to action on the site to see which one is better at actually converting those leads that get to your website. You can do all that stuff and see which one works better, and then tweak which one is getting more clicks, which one is converting more leads. So that's all great. I would highly recommend taking advantage of that if you do go with paid search. Test everything. Don't take anything for granted. Don't assume that your audience wants something, is looking for something specific because that's what you think they need. Ask them what they need. And part of how you can ask them is by putting that content out there and seeing which one they respond to better. The next one is kind of ties into that. You can get more targeted leads. So with your organic content, obviously you can target to an extent. You're targeting for certain keywords. You're targeting people who are searching certain things, who have a certain problem, who relate to certain content. That's what you're looking for. But with paid search, you can also target based on where they are geographically, based on their gender, based on their race, based on what they do for a living, what's their job, are they self-employed, do they work for someone else, are they an executive, are they lower down on the corporate ladder, all those things, so that you can get very specific about where your content shows up. So when you show up on a first page organically for a certain keyword, you put in all that time and effort, and chances are a lot of people who see that aren't going to really need your services. Although, like I said, they're probably just higher up in the buyer funnel. They'll need your services eventually, or your products. It's just going to take them longer. Whereas you can, with paid search, you can really target those people who need you right now, which then becomes, that's our next pro to paid search, is that in general, you're going to have a higher buyer intent. You're going to have people, instead of being up here in the buyer funnel, they're going to be like right down here. They're ready to buy. They're just comparing prices, comparing products or services. Maybe they're looking at reviews. They're really close to hitting that buy button, and they're much more likely to find you with paid search. So that's another pro, is that you're more likely to get a return on that investment when people do click on your link in that ad. Cons to paid search, obviously, is that you're paying for it. You're literally paying for it. In addition to putting in all that investment into creating the content and making sure that it's valuable and it leads your prospects down that buyer funnel, you also have to pay for that ad space up there or down here, whichever one it is you decide to go for. So and as soon as you stop paying Google, you stop showing up there. So you got to keep paying if you want to show up there, unless you manage to rank organically. So this is where we get into our next point about how it should be and rather than or. So we firmly believe, and a lot of professional digital marketers believe this, that paid search and organic search should go hand in hand. It's not an either or. They work best when they're together. So like I said earlier in this video, if someone sees your ad up there and then they see your organic content, they're going to be much more likely to click on that organic link because they saw that ad. Also keep in mind that Google's goal is always to get quality content in front of their users. They want content that answers their users' questions. They take what their users are looking for and they go, okay, this person is looking for this when they search for this. So we're going to take these searches and put this content in front of them. If you don't have high quality content, Google won't even put it up as an ad. They really want quality answers to the questions that their users are looking for, and that includes ads. So if you don't have high quality content and you're paying for that ad space, that could be another factor that gets you down here rather than up here. So take that into consideration. But in general, you got organic and paid are better when they're together. So finally, the tools that you need for both organic and paid search. For paid search, obviously, you're going to need Google Ads. Again, we're talking about Google Ads here, so you're going to need that application downloaded onto your browser, your mobile phone, whatever, so that you can start paying for ads and getting that ad space up there. And then again, for organic and for ads, you need to make sure that the headline is catchy. So we always highly recommend CoSchedule's Headline Analyzer. It's awesome. It will show you the percentage. It'll show you if your headline is too short or too long. It'll show you what it looks like in a newsletter, so that if people are seeing it in their inbox, are they seeing the full title or is it getting cut off at some point? And then they're going to show you the number of power words, the percentage of power words actually versus the percentage of emotional words. And you want a really emotional, compelling headline because that's what's going to get people to click. If you pay for that ad space and you've got the great content and you've done all that and you don't have a good headline, it's not going to get anyone to click on it. You need a really strong headline to get people to click. And again, see that great content, take the next stage in the buyer journey, go through the stages of that funnel to finally buy from you. And it all starts with the headline. Also, you're going to need some sort of keyword analyzer tool. We love Ubersuggest because it's free. And it's gotten really good just in the past year or two. Normally you get what you pay for and free stuff is and for a while that tool was pretty iffy, but it's gotten much better in the past year, and so we highly recommend it. If you would prefer something that you pay for, you should also have you should have at least 2 keyword analyzer tools so you can compare and contrast. And SEMrush is another great keyword tool that requires a subscription, but with the subscription you get SEMrush's all of their other tools, which are great for SEO and content strategy and analyzing, and it's awesome. So we highly recommend that as well. And then finally, you're going to need Google Analytics. You need to sign up for that. It's free, but it's a great way to you register your website with it. And that way you can look at your results and see how many people are coming to my website, how many people are seeing that ad and not clicking on it, and of the people who click on it, how many people are actually turning into buyers later on down the line. So you need to constantly analyze all those results and change stuff as you start to see problems with your results. And that is it. That is everything you need to know about organic search versus paid search. Again, I am Allison Verhalen with AV Writing Services. If you need help creating content, or if you have any other questions about this or anything else relating to content marketing and SEO, please reach out to us. We are at info@avwritingservices.com. Thank you very much and have a great week.